together for the second running of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Florida Dodge Dealers 250. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Winston Cup and Busch Grand National Series veteran Phil Parsons, and we are so glad to have you with us. In fact, we at ESPN are so proud to continue our relationship with NASCAR as we have become the exclusive home of its Craftsman Truck Series. All 24 events will be seen right here on the Worldwide Leader. And Phil, I don't think anyone would disagree that the inaugural Craftsman Truck Series event here last year was the most exciting race in all of Speed Weeks. In fact, it still stands as the fastest, richest, and most competitive race in the 6-year history of the series. And here's the best part. This one today is supposed to be even better.
Doc, a full third of the field led the race last year. 12 of the 36 starters, they changed the lead 31 times. But that's only the official leads. It's the start-finish line. We're not counting the backstretch in turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. So I expect a whole lot more of the same today.
I don't know if folks remember that horrific tumble that Jeffrey Bodine took here last year on lap 57. One of 13 trucks involved in a melee here in the Tri-Oval, a 2-hour red flag to fix the fence. But I hope you also remember that there were no serious injuries whatsoever. Jeffrey Bodine is back today, standing on the pit box, coaching his young son Barry in the field. Speaking of debuts at Daytona, as Barry will make his debut, there are some other new names you'll see all year long in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Let's take a look at some.
The top 4 in last year's points have moved on. 3 up to Winston Cup, and last year's champ makes a 1-year stop in the Busch Series. Without Wallace, Biffle, Busch, and Houston, who will lead the challenge in 2001? Well, there's 4 young guns with fire in their eyes and horsepower under the hood. Who will be the next Truck Series superstar? Well, that could be just about anybody, because we've got a lot of young names in the series this year. Now, you folks have probably heard of Hendrick before, maybe even Donahue or Petty. But we're going to introduce you to some names you've never heard before. Guys like Crafton, Quapple, even guys like Hospital. A great race car driver with 49 victories to his name. But he gets in the best ride of his life. And Scotty, today at Daytona, you're driving the truck that won here 1 year ago. What will it be like if you get victory number 50 at the World Center of Racing?
Well, it's definitely worth all 49 others, I tell you that. You know, the biggest opportunity I've ever had here at Daytona, you know, the main thing is to be there at the last. And I've got everything I could possibly need to win this race. So, real exciting for me. Like I say, I'd trade all of them for that number 50 today.
You bet. Scott Riggs, a new member of one of the newest super teams.
Several veterans of the Truck Series are returning with newly formed 2 truck super teams. Rutman, Tolsma, and Strike each found success in 2000, but are now poised as mentors with newcomers. Hamilton's Willie T. Ribbs, Renzi's David Donahue, and young Ricky Hendrick. The birth of these super teams has everyone wondering, is 2 really better than 1? Absolutely. 3 teammates make up the first 6 starting positions. And for the 2nd year in a row, Joe Rutman has put Bobby Hamilton's Dodge on the pole. But it's not your teammate your teammate is starting behind you, but it's not your boss. You guys going to work together?
Well, what happened last year is I knocked the boss out. So that's why Bobby's not running. He said, I don't trust you anymore. So I've been talking to Willie. I hope I can trust him or he can trust me. We certainly, if we work together, we'd be better.
And although his teammate Willie T. Ribbs is carrying a rookie stripe, he is no stranger to racing. 17 Trans Am wins. He ran the Cup cars back in the 80s and has competed in the prestigious Indianapolis 500. Willie, is this inaugural truck race even stack up to your list of accomplishments?
It's another awesome race for me, and we're ready to go.
Okay, Ray and Amy, thank you very much. You know, what a great day for racing. The biggest purse in the history of the Truck Series. Let's go down trackside for those 4 most famous words.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, the Grand Marshal of the Florida Dodge Dealers 250, Jim Arrigo. Gentlemen, start your engine!
A bright Florida sun shines on 36 aspiring Truck Series competitors. We get set to begin the season at Daytona in just a moment. ESPN coverage of exciting NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series action from Daytona is being brought to you by Mopar. Parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealership that sell and install them. That's the Mopar difference. And by the Auto Vent Shade Company, maker of the original vent visor and other quality products. Auto Vent Shade, you're only as cool as your shade. Field beginning to roll away here, 36 trucks strong. Under a beautiful afternoon or morning for racing here in Daytona. Now, earlier today, Amy and Ray offered a little closer look at some of the specs and rules governing today's race in terms of NASCAR tech. So let's look in to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Garage.
The reason the trucks get to run a non-restricted engine is because of the aerodynamic package. NASCAR has mandated an 80-inch fender width in the front of the truck, combined with 150 minimum square inch grille openings, and also on the front fenders, they're required to run in wicker bill. The suspension is also the same package as last year. But the biggest changes that NASCAR has made this year is to the rear of the truck. The 8-inch tall spoiler now has a 1-inch flange that sits at a 90-degree angle. And just prior to happy hour, NASCAR put on yet another ½ inch on each side of the spoiler. So now the total length of the spoiler is 2 inches wider than last year. This creates a lot of stability and a lot of safety.
Well, Amy, of course, safety is NASCAR's #1 issue, and no one will ever forget Jeffrey Bodine's horrifying crash in this race 1 year ago. Now, basically what happened, as Jeffrey got in a real tight pack of trucks, he approached a truck, and this part of the fender actually got pushed in. Now, because the tire rotates in this direction, he was actually launched up into the catch fence. So NASCAR created what we now call the Bodine bar. It's a little Nerf bar that sticks out on the outside of the fenders. Basically what that does, it keeps it so that he can't push this fender in too far. And that is all the way down the side of the truck, just like you would see on a NASCAR modified. But Jeffrey attributes the safety and what kept him alive a year ago to the seat he uses. Now, the seat that Barry Bodine will be using in today's race is exactly the same. This little part right here holds the driver in extremely tight. On the first impact, second, third, or even fourth, it keeps the driver very tight, and that creates safety.
Thank you very much. And, of course, NASCAR's #1 priority is indeed safety. 10 onboard cameras with you today. We'll start back at 28 starting spot. How about a second-generation driver, young Ronnie Hornaday III, 21-year-old son of two-time Craftsman Truck champion Ron Hornaday, the Lucas Oil Chevrolet, starting back his 7th Craftsman Truck Series start ever back at 28 spot.
We've got Brian Ruffner in the Menard Chevrolet starting 15th. He won at Texas in 2000, snapping a 111 race drought.
As we take a look at the 60-car Travis Popple, the thing they're trying to remember, patience and points. Just the opposite, though, for Lyndon Amick in the number 52 truck, as he is here to win this race. He doesn't care about points. He's going for the victory. Amy?
Jack Sprague's 2000 bad luck seems to still be lingering. Yesterday in happy hour, Jack made contact with the outside turn 2 retaining wall. Right side sheet metal, suspension, and nose damage. But Jack's got the truck back fixed and ready to go. Young Ricky Hendrick is ready to take the Truck Series by storm. Ran 6 races in 2000, recorded 4 top 10 finishes. High expectations for this young newcomer.
4th place starter Ted Musgrave in the Mopar Performance Dodge, an 11-year Winston Cup veteran, has 3 previous starts in the Craftsman Truck Series.
And how about 3rd place starter, the oldest rookie of 10 in today's field, Willie T. Ribbs, 42 years of age, a 2-time winner here at Daytona, with both coming in sports car competition.
Outside pole sitter Scott Riggs in the Team ASC Dodge. We heard from him earlier. He has 8 top 10 finishes in the year 2000 in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Now, how about the oldest pole sitter in NASCAR's newest series, or young series, 56-year-old Joe Rutman was the pole sitter a year ago. This year's pole, 186.123 miles per hour in the Daytona Dodge. Let's take a look at our Mopar starting grid, the first of 24 events in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And as we told you a moment ago, for the 2nd consecutive year, Joe Rutman broke his record of being the oldest pole sitter in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series history by putting his Daytona Dodge on the front row at over 186 miles an hour. The first 4 qualifiers, all Dodges. Scott Riggs starting on the outside front row in the Team ASC Dodge. Willie T. Ribb starts third. Ted Musgrave, Mopar Performance Dodge is fourth. You mentioned it's an all-Hendrick row number 3 with Ricky Hendrick and Jack Sprague, the two-time champion. Back in row 4, Carlos Contreras, his second full year. This year driving the Hot Wheels Dodge for Richard Petty. There's a look at the front row with Ruttman and Riggs. We move back to row number 2 with Willie T. Ribbs and Ted Musgrave. Musgrave coming full-time to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and the Ultra Motorsport team. There's the all-Hendrick row number 3 from Ricky Hendrick and Jack Sprague. Mexico City Mexican driver Carlos Contreras. Lyndon Amick, former Goodies Dash Series champion and a winner here in Dash competition. How about a rookie, Travis Quapple, an impressive rookie, and David Starr. So much talent. This young man needs to be able to run all year. Hopefully he'll be able to. Mark Petty, youngest son of Maurice and Patricia Petty, the nephew of Richard Petty, and Bobby Donner, the runner-up last year in the Winston West Series with 4 wins. There's the veteran Dennis Setcher this year in the Axiom Chevrolet. How about the High Plains drifter Rick Torelli, former Winston West and Southwest Tour champion. A winner last year at Richmond. Brian Refter, who won last October in Texas, driving for John Menard. And Terry Cook, fastest Ford in the field. He finished 4th here a year ago, all the way from 32nd starting spot. The son of the late Mark Donahue, David Donahue, makes his very first Truck Series start. Will run the full year for Ed Renzi. And Nathan Butke in the Chevrolet, number 81. Lance Norrie in the car in the Chevrolet number 90. And, of course, a winner last year at Nashville, 2-time NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series winner, Randy Tolsma. Back in row 11, Chuck Hosfeld, another one of the rookie contenders, driving for Jack Roush. Ryan Sockwell, a great run here last year out of the NASCAR Goodies Dash Series. Morgan Shepherd, a multi-time winner in Winston Cup competition. Twice he has finished runner-up at Daytona, the Daytona 500. And Coy Gibbs, the youngest son of Joe Gibbs. Derek Combs, the 1990 Daytona 500 winner. Michael Dawkins, a former pole sitter in Craftsman Truck competition. Randy McDonald had a great run here last year. Ronnie Hornaday, there's the young second-generation driver. Larry Gunzelman and Billy Bigley, both rookies in row 15. Mary Bodine, son of Jeffrey Bodine. Nathan Hosley. Rick Crawford, a winner 2 years ago in South Florida. Rich Woodland, Donnie Neuenberger. Pretty impressive run, finished 9th here a year ago. That's the 36-truck starting field. Glad to have you with us as we begin the year of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, 7th year. Richest race in the history of the series, over $710,000.
Jerry, you cannot imagine what these new guys, especially the guys that haven't been to Daytona before, are thinking right now.
Roy Shelby waves the green flag, and we're underway in Daytona.
Outside line got a pretty good jump there. Scott Riggs leading the way.
Yesterday at happy hour, Scott Riggs and that 2 truck, along with his teammate Ted Musgrave, were clocked at over 191 miles an hour.
Talking to some of the Dodge guys earlier, they were hoping they could get those front 4 Dodges together and maybe run off and hide, but I'm not sure that's going to happen.
3 wide, there's Willie Ribb down on the bottom of the racetrack. Third fastest qualifier, the rookie, the Dodge Motorsports Dodge, slowing, and he will head for pit road. So the very first lap of the race, a problem for Willie T. Ribb.
It's got to be a tremendous heartbreaker for Willie T. As much as he was looking forward to this race, to have it essentially look like it may end in the first lap.
Some teamwork up front. The Ultra Motorsports guys, Scott Riggs, Ted Musgrave, nose to tail, then Team Hendrick. Jack Sprague and Ricky Hendrick, the next 2 trucks in line. Then comes the pole sitter, Joe Ruttman, whose teammate has made it to pit road, and now the crew talking to Willie T. As you watch Ruttman now trying to make a pass on the bottom side of Ricky Hendrick.
On board with Joe Ruttman right now. He tried to make an inside move on Ricky Hendrick, was not able to pull it off. Did not have any drafting help on the inside. He's going to try the outside now, Jerry.
Remember, these trucks are unrestricted, as you heard Amy tell you. There are no plates. The draft very effective, as you're seeing here. Jack Sprague. Miseries here a year ago. 14 laps after all, he made it until involved in an accident. Sprague wants to lead early on lap number 3 at Daytona. Does he have the muscle?
I don't think the Dodgers are going to be able to run off and high. Do you, Jerry?
I don't think so. The draft is so effective. These trucks punch such a huge hole in the wind, Phil. I think that the draft we're going to see, that's the kind of lap we saw right there on the white flag lap a year ago. On board with Scott Riggs, Team ASC Dodge. Onboard camera looking how close he gets to the net zero Chevy of Sprague.
Jack Sprague has already run more in the race today. Contact there.
Oh, a little bit of
a lot of contact between Scott Riggs and Jack Sprague.
And yesterday, Jack Sprague involved in an incident during half hour. Here's a spin on the racetrack. 3, 4, 5 trucks involved. One truck had already been involved on the bottom of the racetrack.
Travis Quaffle. Tough break for Travis.
There's the Cat Reynolds car, truck of Mike Addington, Travis Quaffle, who was so very good in testing here back last month. Michael Dokken in the truck number 31.
Rich Woodland in the 12 truck, and we've got David Starr. What a tough break for him.
So 4 trucks involved in the first incident of the day, coming out here on lap number 3. Back with more live coverage in just a moment. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Under caution on lap number 3, the very first caution flag of the day involving at least 6 trucks. An incident that actually began up front with a couple of leaders playing a little fender and bumper tag, which jammed them up behind them. Let's show you what happened up front initially, Phil.
You know, we were watching Scott. It looks like Ricky Hendrick got in the back of Jack Sprague, turned him outside into the outside, which got him into Scott Riggs, and that seized the whole field up. And I think that's what inevitably led to the other guys back there, because that got guys out of the throttle. You got guys in the throttle, and it just got jumbled up. You see the Brian Ruffner on the outside get hit in the back, and then Michael Dokken gets turned around and get hit by the 10 truck.
Mark Petty, the 10 truck involved. Dokken comes down across right in front of Travis Quaffle, who had nowhere to go. He was down on the bottom minding his own business. Rich Woodland became involved. David Starr, who had gone to the back. Starr's the 41 truck, the white truck in the middle of your screen spinning around. He had gone to the back of the starting grid because of an engine change. They had to change engines this morning. You see the cleanup going there. Bob and Shelley Brevak's car number 31 of Michael Dokken. Let's check in the garage area with where I think Amy's standing by with Mark Petty.
Yeah, Mark, we just got a chance to look at the replay there. It looked like a chain reaction. Is that what it looked like from your vantage point?
Yeah, you know, they had us a special rookie meeting there earlier, and it looks like some of the veterans up front were trying to win the race on the second lap. Maybe we should have some special meetings for the veterans, but they got crammed up there in front of them, and there wasn't nowhere to go. Just one of them deals. I mean, I hate it because we really had a good truck, but I guess that's what everybody will say.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, Amy, a good bit of damage to the front end of the Cat Reynolds Chevrolet here as the crew started to take a look over. They were going to try to just pull the fenders out and go back to the racetrack, but they realized that the oil cooler is busted, so they've got a good bit of work to do here to get Travis Quaffle back in the race.
Jack Sprague on pit road and two-time Craftsman Truck Series champion. His Net Zero Chevrolet involved. The crew take a look at that. Dennis Conner and company will have our pit folks check in their pits, and we'll tell you what's happening with Jack Sprague as we come back with more live action from Daytona. Back at Daytona International Speedway, beautiful aerial shots of this 480-acre complex, 1,000 feet above Daytona, courtesy of the fine folks of the Budweiser.com airship. Brought to you by Budweiser, the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. You know, I've driven that. I've flown that Budweiser.com airship.
Have you really?
Yeah. It doesn't handle well, but the beverage cart's awesome. Great shots from high above here, guys. Thanks a lot. Over Daytona Beach today, Budweiser.com airship. You just joined us. We're working the first caution flag of the day here at Daytona, coming out on lap number 3. And our former two-time Craftsman Truck Series champion is back on pit road. Amy, what's the problem?
Well, after his first time down pit lane, they checked the toe, and it was towed out. So they're going to go under the hood, make an adjustment to the tie rod bolt on the right front, and hopefully get Jack's toe back in check. But outside of that, just some damage to the right rear, which they will fix with tape. So the bad luck from 2000 looks like it's carrying over into Jack Sprague's 2001 season.
It sure is. You know, last year, he ran only 14 laps, was involved in an incident on the backstretch, came back out and finished 33rd. Here is Ted Musgrave. He was involved in that shunt where the 24 truck, as you mentioned, Phil, was tagged by another truck, came up across and hit Musgrave in the left front fender. So the crew working on Ted's fender. They're trying to put a patch, a bandage. And we might explain to people who may not understand super speedway racing, you have to put a patch over a hole here or the truck will just be jumped.
It really will. You let any air get in where it's not supposed to, and it would just be like a parachute.
Greg Wanke, the crew chief for Ted Musgrave, getting the repairs on Jimmy Smith's Ultra Motorsports Mopar Performance Dodge. And his teammate is our leader. That would be the 2 truck. In fact, this is the truck, or I should say the team that won the race a year ago with Mike Wallace aboard. It is the same chassis, but it's a different sheet metal. It's a Dodge. It was a Ford last year, and Mike Scott Riggs did qualified on the outside front row, so a lot of similarity.
So far, anyway.
Take a look at the top 10. Scott Riggs leading. Ricky Hendrick had a great run last Sunday in the ARCA race, finished 9th, but led 33 laps.
Look at the move Terry Cook's made. He started 15th all the way up to 3rd.
I told you last year he started 32nd and finished 4th. I could have won this thing. Got shuffled on the last lap. Joe Ruttman back in 4th. Lyndon Amick in 5th. He will start 10th in the Busch race here on Saturday. Randy Tolsma from 19th to 6th. Tolsma was 3rd fastest in happy hour. Watch for him to make a move. He's headed to the front, as is his teammate David Donahue. There's Coy Gibbs, the MBNA truck for Joe Gibbs. And we'll show you once again why we are under caution.
We've already had the contact between Jack Sprague and Ted Musgrave up front, and it just got all the guys out of the throttle. So it's just a chain reaction deal, and looked like, you know, each truck slows down and the other guy can't react that quick. Mark Petty got in the back of Michael Dockin and turned him around, and then the track gets blocked in.
And Ted Musgrave back on pit road, Ray.
But, Jerry, there's really very minimal damage. It's all to the left front here, and there's just a little bit. They're putting some duct tape on it, and Ted will be back out to the racetrack.
Okay, as Musgrave exits pit road, we'll take a quick break and come back with more live green flag action. The inaugural event for the 2001 season. Back in a moment. Back in Daytona, NASCAR on ESPN. The exclusive home of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. All 24 events on the $12 million tour. Set for a restart here on lap number 11 after caution for 6 laps as Scott Riggs will lead him down.
There's Willie T on the inside trying to get his lap back. He had a plug wire off when he started the race. That's what caused his unscheduled pit stop on lap 1.
And, of course, Willie T. Ribbs in the 8 truck. Fastest qualifier among the 10 rookie drivers in the field. Nearly contact between Willie T. and the leader, Scott Riggs. Now Willie T. has his teammate, Joe Ruttman, who was the pole sitter right behind him. We'll see if those Dodges on the inside can outrun a Dodge and a Chevrolet on the outside. A little bit of smoke.
Probably a little speedy dry down from somebody left some fluid down.
On board the Dana Dodge, on board camera, Joe Ruttman. Willie T. Ribbs has set sail. He is back, got his lap back. He's in the tail end of the lead lap. If you look across from Scott Riggs, onboard camera.
Last time we had that view, Jack Sprague ran into him.
Side by side, 16, 17 trucks. Again, the 2 truck left side of your screen, that is Riggs. He is the leader.
You know, I heard a lot of guys talking, Doc, about the outside line being the way to go. The Winston Cup guys were talking about the outside line. It looks like it's pretty good right now for Scott Riggs. Willie T's doing a great job of hanging tough there on the inside. He's got his teammate Joe Ruttman, the Dana Dodge, right behind him.
We call Willie T. a rookie, but he's won here twice at Daytona. In sports car competition, competed twice in the Indianapolis 500, has 3 Winston Cup starts and 17 Trans Am wins. So he's certainly maybe a rookie in this series, but no rookie behind the steering wheel.
Anybody can go to Indy and run 220 miles an hour. It's not going to be much of a rookie when you come to run 180 miles an hour.
Very talented driver. We're talking about Willie T. Ribbs in the 8. Mopar Performance Dodge. Right now, Scott Riggs, 30 years of age, from Bahama, North Carolina, just north of Durham, North Carolina. Showing the way in Daytona, the Team ASC Dodge. Cope hit off punting. Looking back to the truck, he got punted from behind. He did a great job of saving that truck. He used pit road, but able to get back on the racetrack, but obviously a lot of sheet metal damage back up front.
Boy, it sure separated the field.
And there is some smoke maybe out of Joe Ruppin's truck.
I think there was probably some he probably had some contact there. Not necessarily with Derek Cope, but with somebody else. Caution flag is out.
Back up front, Scott Riggs and Ricky Hendrick, Dodge and Chevrolet will bring him down for the caution the second time today. As Roy Selby waves the yellow flag. The incident a moment ago, Derek Cope getting punted against the outside wall, came across down pit road, saved the truck. Let's look at Derek Cope. And the number 86. And here is Joe Ruppin on pit road, your pole sitter in the Dana Dodge. Look at the right rear of that truck.
Pretty significant damage back there. It looks like he just got hit in the back aiming.
Well, you are seeing smoke from the 18 Dana Dodge. There's right rear tire damage. Sheet metal is rubbing up against that right rear, so the team will go around, give him right side tires, and top it off with fuel. It looks like Bobby Hamilton's team has just got bad luck all over the place here at Daytona.
What she's referring to is Willie P. Ribbs is also the teammate who came down on the first lap with the plug wire off and lost the lap, but was able to get his lap back. And now Joe Ruppin, who was the pole sitter last year and this year on pit road, as Danny Rollins and the rest of that Dana crew try to peel that sheet metal away. And from the Budweiser.com airship, take a look down on the racetrack.
See the white truck, David Donahue, and got to the outside wall. I think everybody seized up, and just like the other accident in turn 1, people ran out of room. I tell you, somebody of Derek Cope's experience could probably save that accident from being a whole lot worse, Jerry. Watch the white truck on the outside here get to the outside wall, and then it's just a chain reaction deal that gets the next guy out of the throttle, and the guy behind that not able to stop just as quick, and then a chain reaction.
And as you said, a lesser experienced driver probably would have had that truck sideways right in front of about 15 other trucks, and Derek Cope did a masterful job. Well, we are under caution for the second time today. This one coming out on lap number 13. Derek Cope is at his service. He gets back on the racetrack. We'll be back in Daytona in a moment. Welcome back to Daytona. I'm Jerry Punch along with Bill Parsons, Amy East, and Ray Dunlap, bringing you live coverage of the initial NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series event of the year 2001. The Florida Dodge Dealers 250 under caution for the second time today. And here is our leader, Scott Riggs. On board with Scott, who did not race here a year ago, but there's a few who did race here a year ago who are back to the beach to begin this season, including Terry Cook, who came from 32nd to finish 4th. Randy McDonald had a great run finishing 6th last year. Rick Pirelli, High Plains Drifter, finished 7th a year ago. Dennis Setzer and Donnie Neuenberger, hoping to be able to get sponsorship enough to run the full year this year. Had a top 10 finish here last year.
Had a great run last year. Dennis Setzer also had a good run. A lot of these guys are running well today.
Donnie Neuenberger, sponsored by the world champion Baltimore Ravens. He is from Brandywine, Maryland. Had some sponsors up there. Said, hey, put the Ravens on the truck. We'll pay for it. Put them on there. And there is Rick Pirelli, who's been on and off pit road. Amy East.
Extensive damage to the left rear of the 66 truck. It looks as though their biggest problem was just getting fuel in it. The dry brake system was totally bashed in. They tried to hammer it out, but it looks like most of the fuel is still sitting here on pit lane.
Tough break for Rick Pirelli. Former Winston West Series champion back in 1993, Southwest Series champion 91, a 4-time winner in NASCAR Craftsman truck competition. Let's go down to Ray and check in on the Ted Musgrave situation, Ray.
Well, Jerry, last lap, Ted brought the number 1 truck down, and they repaired the gurney lip on the front. NASCAR rules say you must run all those aerodynamic features, and with that damage, they had lost their gurney lip. So the crew put a new one on, and they put it on there for good, they hope, anyway. Now, Scott Riggs came on the radio just a little bit ago, said the truck feels great. Timmy Cahoon said, well, it doesn't look so good, and Riggs said, well, it's running good enough. Don't worry, next week I'll come to the shop and I'll fix what it looks like. If it's running this fast, we'll keep it the way it is.
Absolutely. You know, last year Scott Riggs came here as a crew member working on Charlie Long's truck. He was a mechanic. This year he's leading the field down on the restart on lap number 18. What a difference a year makes.
Sure does. Willie T was on the inside again. He's going to try to get his lap back, and something happened. I don't know if he missed a year or what happened.
tough problems on the start for Willie T. Scott Riggs leading a single file parade off of turn 2.
Let's give a call to Ricky Hendrick, who stayed right with Scott Riggs in second position.
Mentioned Ricky Hendrick led 33 laps in the ARCA event here last Sunday. Had a little problem on the restart. Ended up fading to finish back in 9th position.
We talked about the Dodge, how they were going to try to get together. We've got 3 Chevrolets running now, second, third, fourth behind that lone Dodge.
Right now, the talk down here in the GMAC pit is that Ricky Hendrick is trying to conserve fuel. They're going to try to do this race on a 2-stop instead of some of the teams that are going for 3. So on the restarts, he's starting off in 3rd gear. Now, my question to you, Phil, is does that really help conserve the fuel?
It will a little bit, but everything he can do, all this drafting right now he's doing will definitely help. Now you see him tucked to the inside. That's not going to save any fuel. He needs to stay right in Scott Riggs' tire tracks, and then he'll save as much fuel as he can. I talked to a lot of guys this morning. Anywhere from 27 to 33 laps are what they thought.
And we told you a moment ago as you watched this from Ricky Hendrick's onboard camera, as we were getting to restart, Willie T. ripped. Dodge would not go. The Dodge Motorsports, you see he's trying to get it in gear, and it just will not go into gear as the green is being waved. Amy, did they get it fixed?
You nailed it on the head there, Doc. He's stuck in 2nd gear, so indeed they will have to come in, probably climb inside the truck there with some wrenches and try to help Willie T out.
Tough break for Willie T. Now look at the right side of your screen. Those are teammates. That is Randy Tolsma in the 61. Started back in 20th spot, is running 3rd, and right behind him, almost in the back of him, is David Donahue, his teammate. There is Randy, started back in 19th position, now currently in 3rd spot. He was the 3rd fastest truck in happy hour at over 190 miles an hour yesterday. And behind him, David Donahue, his first ever NASCAR Craftsman truck race. He is the son, of course, of Mark Donahue, the 1972 Indianapolis 500 winner.
You see Terry Cook bucking out on the inside. What we saw there, Jerry, up in the terminal when you were talking about David Donahue, that's how fast these trucks closed up. That's why we've seen some of the chain reaction accidents, because they close up so fast, it's hard for them to get out of the throttle, get on the brake, and get low.
You mentioned Terry Cook back in 5th position, the Sylvania, Ohio driver, driving for Kay Keselowski, the K Automotive. It's a Ford this year.
Pass for the lead. All the Chevrolets ganged up on Scott Riggs.
And they will shuffle that Dodge back to 4th position. And now young Ricky Hendrick, youngest driver in the field at 20 years of age. He led here last Sunday in ARCA competition. He's got a veteran stomping at the pit right behind him, Tolsma, running in 2nd spot. And he Tolsma looks to the high side here on lap number 22.
This is the kind of racing that we expected here. We're going to see a lot more of this, too.
Tolsma has the drafting partners as David Donahue will push Tolsma by, and he will take the lead. 79 laps to go at Daytona. 34-year-old Meridian, Idaho driver Randy Tolsma showing the way at Daytona International Speedway. We're early on the Florida Dodge Dealers 250. Back at Daytona, we have our 5th different leader here in the early laps. Guess who? Terry Cook in the K Automotive Ford. Remember, it was a Dodge for so many years. Last time he led was at Indianapolis Raceway Park in August of last year.
How about a call for Chuck Hosfeld in the 3rd position right now, looking on the outside of Randy Tolsma.
Chuck Hosfeld, one of those impressive rookies that Jack Roush went searching for at the end of last year when he was losing Greg Biffle and Kurt Busch. There is Hosfeld in the 50 car, 50 truck. 24-year-old Chuck Hosfeld, Ransomville, New York. NASCAR modified. And remember that truck was pretty impressive a year ago with a couple of guys named Greg Biffle driving and Randy Goss calling the shots. They were the reigning NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champions last year. What a year they had. 5 wins for Biffle. Biffle Daytona 500. So both of the Roush drivers moving on. They fill the seats. Nathan Hosley and Chuck Hosfeld. Hosfeld here being shown in second position.
You know, in the garage all week, we had a lot of guys doing a little bit of complaining. Everyone thought the Dodge had an advantage. The Chevrolet guys were complaining a little bit. The Ford guys were probably complaining the most. You're running 1-2 right now here.
Yeah. That's a race truck driver's nature. You got to complain about something.
Complaining 101. Derek Cope in the 86 Dodge, he recovered from that spin.
That's a National Wild Turkey Federation Ford.
He's one lap down, doing his best to get in the front so he can get his lap back.
That's Wild Turkey. It's not the bourbon, that's the bird.
Uh-oh.
Trouble up on the banking. Couple of trucks coming together.
Nathan Hosley.
That is Hosley in the 99 truck out of the Roush stable.
Chuck Hosfeld's teammate in the 99 truck.
So caution will be shown for the third time. We're on lap number 27 as two trucks involved. Looks like Randy McDonald, the 72, exactly. Tough break for Randy. Had a great run here last year. Randy started 29th a year ago and finished 6th, and he will climb out here possibly with an early exit in this year's Florida Dodge Dealers 250.
Awfully tough break for these two guys. I talked to Nathan earlier and how much he was looking forward to this race and how excited he was to be here. He was home in Wisconsin last year watching this race on TV.
That, of course, the truck we mentioned that Kurt Busch drove a year ago. Still sitting in that Roush truck. Speaking of the Wisconsin drivers, here is Travis Kvapil. Ran the last 3 years in the NASCAR REMAX Challenge Series, winning twice there. And he was involved, an innocent victim, actually, in the first caution flag of the day, back on lap number 3. He was on the bottom of the racetrack, and a truck was punted down across in front of him. He's been on and off pit road in Mike Addington's Cat Reynolds Chevrolet.
You know that actually Travis and Nathan were teammates on the REMAX Series last year.
And how about the fact that both of them got calls to come here to drive in NASCAR's Craftsman Truck Series? See what happened just a moment ago to bring out caution number 3.
Nathan's running by himself. You can see the truck get loose, and around it goes. Lance Nork was able to get by on the high side, but I think when Randy McDonald comes along, there's nowhere to go. He went to the high side. That's where Nathan was, and unfortunately made some pretty significant contact.
Randy McDonald, the former Canadian stock car champion.
I was talking to Nathan yesterday, actually, and he said that he was having some trouble with the handle on that truck, and talked to him just before the race, and he thought that they made it a whole lot better, but we don't. He could have cut a tire down, but the thing went around and unfortunately backed up into the wall.
Once again, you see Lance Norrick's truck going by. Roush truck up across the racetrack. Here comes McDonald. Heavy damage to the back of Nathan Hosley's machine, and of course Randy McDonald's truck also damaged in the left front. Working caution for the third time today. There is Hosley headed over to the ambulance for the obligatory ride to the infield care center. Anytime you have any kind of contact, NASCAR requires you to go in and be checked out. It's a good rule. A lot of drivers don't like it, but you need to go in there and be looked over by the doctors, and you can head back to the garage area. Also gives you a chance to cool down a little bit if you've had an incident that might not have been your fault, although that one, I'm sure, was just a chassis situation for Nathan Hosley.
They tell us in the driver's meeting, please be nice to the safety workers. They're only there to help you. As mad as you are, please don't take it out on them.
And they also tell you they didn't wreck your car.
That's right.
You did.
That's right.
And looks like the leaders may come down pit road. Fuel mileage, a major concern here. Expecting maybe 2-3 pit stops. You heard Amy say at least one of the teams may try to make it on 2 pit stops. Here is the leader, Terry Cook, the K Automotive Ford, headed down at 55 miles an hour. Amy?
Terry Cook hits his pit stall. He's going to take on right side tires and top it off with fuel. Handling-wise, the truck is perfect, so our leader is very happy. Ray Dunlap.
Looking for the 50 truck to come in. Here he hits the pit right now, Amy, and they said absolutely no changes. Chuck Hosfeld says the car is great. The truck is great. Boy, how many times am I going to do that today? But they go to the right side, come around. Fuel is in. Question is, can they make this on 2 stops? I don't know. At lap 28, but Chuck Hosfeld leads the pit.
Going to be very, very doubtful.
All clear. Stay below the blend line.
As you watch, we might mention also the rules In NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series competition, you wonder why you're not seeing 4 tire changes. You're not allowed to change 4 tires. Under caution, you can only change 2. These teams are given 6 sets of tires at Daytona. Typically on a weekend, they're given 4 sets in a regular NASCAR Craftsman Truck event. And those are all the tires you had. Use them as you want. That's to keep the cost down. And Wayne Alton and the Craftsman Truck Series officials keep the cost down. But you can only change 2 tires under caution here. Under caution for the 3rd time today. Ted Musgrave being shown as the leader back in Daytona in just a moment. We welcome you back to Daytona International Speedway. I'm Jerry Punch along with Phil Parsons. Glad to have you with us. Amy East and Ray Dunlap in the pits covering live action in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. If you just joined us, we've had 8 leaders, 10 lead changes here in the first handful of laps. Scott Riggs has led 3 times, 19 laps. Gary Cook led 5 laps. As the field comes down for the green flag on the restart here on lap 33. After 5 laps of caution, the 3rd caution flag today.
Good jump by Ted Musgrave out front, but we don't know that that's necessarily a good thing. You get a good jump here at Daytona.
What Phil Parsons is referring to is the fact that the draft is a major factor here. These trucks punch such a huge hole in the wind. You get out front, everyone tucks in together, and they come soaring mile by.
He's fortunate that he's got his teammate Scott Riggs behind him, so that may allow him to keep the lead.
And Musgrave the leader, then Scott Riggs in 2nd spot. Looks like Gary Cook's going to start the high line there. As Cook will lead a 4th parade up high.
He picked up a sponsor for Terry Cook's truck this week with HotJobs.com.
We can check out here.
Keselowski's are looking for a sponsor to run the full season, and they've committed to running the full season. They need a sponsor, and HotJobs.com came on board for today.
They keep running like this, they're going to have sponsors coming on board every week because they're going to want to be on board that K Automotive effort for Terry Cook. A couple of Dodges up front, then a couple of Fords. Not taking a flat left rear tire from Lyndon Amick a moment ago. As he came on and off pit road, there's Lyndon Amick in Kenny Schrader's Federated Auto Parts Chevrolet truck, just getting back up to speed as the leaders go by, and they will put Lyndon Amick a lap down.
Lyndon had a great qualifying run. Ran 2nd at IRP last year in the same truck.
On board the Federated Auto Parts Chevrolet, Lyndon Amick, who will run this race and Nashville, Tennessee. We mentioned he's a former NASCAR Goodies Dash champion, won the Goodies race here at Daytona in the Dash competition back in 1996.
Got Chuck Hosfeld, who was running so well early on, is going backwards on the inside. We're not sure what the problem is there.
He was on and off pit road after most of the leaders on lap 29. Onboard telemetry, riding along with Brian Refter, the Menards ride. Let's take a look at the speed, 192 miles an hour.
Look at the RPM, 8,200 RPM. Wow. We haven't seen numbers like that in Daytona in a long time.
Those are in-house engines built by Butch Meyer, Team Menards headquarters up in Indianapolis, and I bet Butch
Coming that hard now, you knock that nose in. It's all right to check up a little bit as long as you're in the draft.
Scott Riggs radio, talking back and forth to his pits. Timmy Cahoot, the crew chief, longtime veteran crew chief, calling the shots for Riggs. He called the shots for Mike Wallace a year ago. There's Ted Musgrave showing he started in 4th spot, moved back to 28 on lap 7, now being shown as the leader here on lap 35.
Solon and Amick in the 52 truck, Federated Auto Parts truck, had to get on the brakes because the draft sucked him up to Scott Riggs so fast he had to get on the brakes. These guys really have to pay attention out here. We have just now, right now, Jerry, what we thought we wouldn't see is a breakaway. We've got 3 trucks now, with the trucks behind them running side by side.
That's probably the reason these trucks were able to get away. Now they're trying to get back in single file.
Looks like Ricky Hendrick running in 3rd position right now. See if he can pull Terry Cook and see if they can line up and chase that Dodge duo back down.
Look at that's his teammate Jack Sprague being shown in 3rd spot. One of the Hendrick trucks are painted with the same color schemes, very similar to the Net Zero Chevrolet Silverado on Sprague back in 3rd spot.
I haven't seen Jack since he had his earlier troubles, so obviously they've got that problem running. There's Ricky in the 17 truck on the inside, the GMAC truck. Chuck Hosfeld looks like he's back up to speed. He was on the outside of Ricky Hendrick in the 50 truck.
There's Colesma. Matt Craftsman in the 88 truck. He's a rookie, reigning Feather Light Southwest Series champion from last year. Second generation driver. His dad, Danny Craftsman, ran 10 years out on the West Coast. Very talented young man, hoping to run the full season in the 88. The Sealmaster Chevrolet owned by Duke Thorson. Starting back in 33rd position, now being shown in 10th spot. That's a truck that Terry Cook ran so well with here a year ago and finished 4th in.
He's hooked onto a good guy in Randy Colesma. He can learn a lot right there following Randy Colesma.
Meanwhile, back up front, the leaders flash by. That is Musgrave showing the way. His teammate Riggs, and then Jack Sprague. 2 Dodges and a Chevrolet. First, second, and third. The 50 truck back up to speed, back in line, trying to draft back toward the front. Let's check it in his pitch with Ray.
Well, Jerry, when I saw Chuck Hosfeld get shuffled out there a little bit and he started to slide back in the field, I thought maybe something was wrong. So I went to his crew chief, Dan Binks. I said, Dan, what's the problem? He said it's his second race. When you get shuffled out here, he's not quite sure what to do. I told him, settle down, get back in line. We got a good enough truck. We'll get our way back up there.
That's what's so valuable to have a crew like he has to work with. Obviously, this is the championship crew from last year. Most of the guys are still there. It's so valuable to have that guy, that cool, calm head, telling him just to calm down. We'll get back up there.
Veteran crew chief Dan Binks taking the reins after Randy Goss led Greg Biffle to a title a year ago in that truck for Jack Brown.
Great racing back here. Just we have 2 guys that ran off of him. Just like Fred Wanke told me before earlier this week that he thought maybe the Dodgers would get together and run off. And they're doing it. I told Fred there's no way you can do that. They're doing it right now.
There's Dennis Setzer. You got a glimpse of Dennis a moment ago. He is driving the Axiom Chevrolet. After a couple of years driving for the Keselowskis in a Dodge, moved over to David Dollar and Charles Morgan on the machine. It was a Ford last year. That truck was. Now it's a Chevrolet for 2001 and beyond. Ryan Refner driving for John Menard. IndyCar owner, and 1 truck slow.
So David Donahue.
Looks like. And also the Net Zero machine has a little, like that may have some smoke out of it. There's some right front damage.
Looks like he might have got into the outside wall coming off turn 4, Jerry. Looks like he flat-sided the truck.
Boy, Jack Sprague just cannot buy a break. Involved in an incident at happy hour. They had to basically replace the right side of the truck and the right front suspension. Involved in an incident early on. And
here's
now,
a replay.
Here's the latest one.
Just like he got forced up high by Chuck Hosfeld in the 50 truck, and it put him in the wall, and Chuck also hit the wall.
Both those trucks, we do not have caution on board with Jack Sprague. Watch Hosfeld move out.
Pretty hard contact there. He's probably going to have some suspension damage there.
Well, he is rolling, but not up to speed whatsoever, as he will take that truck, the Net Zero Chevrolet, to pit road, and Dennis Conner and the Hendrick crew will come back and update Jack Sprague as Musgrave is our leader. Back in Daytona as we get set for the restart. Let's bring you up to speed on what happened if you just joined our coverage. Got early on. Here's truck number 2 as we bring you up to speed. There was a little bit of contact. It all broke loose on lap number 3, though, as 6 trucks involved in this incident over in turns 1 and 2. Then on lap 13, Derek Cope gets shunted, saves the truck down pit road. Carlos Contreras requires some repair work by Howard Comstock and Company. Lap 27, Randy McDonald and Nathan Hosline up in turn 3. Heavy damage. And our latest caution flag, Chuck Hosfeld and Jack Sprague bouncing off the concrete in turn 4, bringing out caution flag number 4. There have been 8 leaders, 11 lead changes. Scott Riggs has led the most laps. Musgrave, Cook, Hendrick, Tolsma, Hosfeld, Ruttman, and Sprague, the other leaders thus far here. We are set for a restart on lap 47.
We've got Ricky Hendrick, who actually stayed out on that caution flag. He pitted on lap 29, so if he's trying to make it on one more pit stop, he's got to go 35 laps. Wow. On each fuel load.
Caution out for 3 laps. Safety crews were out for the 3. Hendrick leads him down, and the drag race in turn 1. For you Matt Craftsman fans, the 88 truck, unfortunately, Matt has gone behind the wall. Larry, California driver, the Steelmaster Chevrolet being worked on back in the garage.
Sitzer pulls out in the 46 Axiom Chevrolet on the inside. Has a little bit of help from Dodge with him. Ted Musgrave.
Setzer, Musgrave, Refner. In comes Scott Riggs. Great camera shot of that truck fly to the banking at 185 miles an hour in turns 3 and 4 and come roaring at you at almost 190. Now here is Musgrave looking at the high side of Setzer in the trial.
Ted's best finish in the Truck Series was a 4th at Phoenix back in 1995. This is only his 4th start in the Truck Series.
Listen to that throttle. We got that right foot that's planted firmly on the floorboard here. They are unrestricted, 750 horsepower, but they are so boxy that one driver is like pushing bricks through the wind. That's what makes the racing so good, because the drafting is so outstanding.
Absolutely. And I think the Winston Cup Series can thank the Truck Series for why their races are so much better now, because they've learned a lot of stuff from the Truck Series, and they've tried to dirty up the cars just like these trucks are.
Exactly. Mike Elton and Gary Nelson learned by watching this. We had a great race in Talladega. They've had good races all week long at Daytona. Winston Cup should have a good one next Sunday. Ronnie Hornaday, second-generation driver in the Lucas Oil machine. Obviously having his trouble. They wanted to be able to find secure sponsorship and run the full year. Maybe run for Rookie of the Year next year even. We are a lap away from halfway. Halfway this time by.
You heard that radio contact from Ted Musgrave. The trucks behind him too wide. That's allowing those 3 trucks to pull out to the lead. These guys have to get line so they can keep in contact with the leader.
Trying to get up the line. There's Coleman, Dennis Setzer, Scott Riggs, Joe Rutland trying to get to the inside to get an advantage to get back single file. Those 3 trucks up front. That is Morgan Shepherd in the 21 truck up to the high side. Shepherd, the Winston Cup veteran, out of Carter, North Carolina, driving for Andy Ginsman.
3 wide down the backstretch.
Randy Tollsma all the way on the bottom of the racetrack. He brings Rick Crawford with him. They have Terry Cook stuck in the middle of that sandwich. Now Cook able to get by. Tollsma and Cook are door to door. Right behind them, Crawford and Riggs are door to door.
Another caution flag out. We're hearing reports that the 51 truck hit the wall. Donnie Neuenberger.
That would be caution number 5 as Donnie Neuenberger, the brand new Maryland driver, slows down in the Baltimore Ravens, world champion Baltimore Ravens Chevrolet. Caution out, we'll take a quick break and come back to see if there are any more pit stops. A tough break for Donnie Neuenberger. Back with more in just a moment. Back at Daytona, these aerial shots from the Budweiser.com airship are brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. Enjoy, race fans. Loading high atop Daytona International Speedway, this massive 480-acre complex, 180-acre infield, and 44-acre Lake Lloyd. Now, coming up on Sunday, how about some action from Daytona? IROC 25. 25th anniversary of the International Racing Champions. Race number 1, 5 p.m. Sunday on ABC Sports. And guess who will lead him down? 6-time Daytona winner in IROC competition, the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt. I'll be joined by Bob Jenkins, Jeffrey Bodine, and Scott Sharp for our coverage of IROC 25, Round 1. There's the Ricky Hendrick onboard camera. He just came on pit road a moment ago. Amy, right?
That's right. Made only a second appearance so far on pit lane. They took on left side tires and fuel. They would like to say that this will be their last trip down pit lane, but yellows will dictate whether or not he can make it on fuel. Ray?
Well, Amy, Ted Musgrave had come in on lap 44 to get rights for the second time today, so they said they didn't want to take a chance on those left side tires, so they just came in, put on left. Scott Riggs came in right behind him and put on rights, and the green flag is out.
Morgan Shepherd is the leader.
59-year-old Morgan Shepherd showing the way at Daytona. Boy, would he love to run the full NASCAR Craftsman finished second in the 1992 Daytona 500.
Terry Cook goes down low with his 29 Ford. Hotjobs.com goes by Morgan Shepherd. Now he's side by side with Derek Cook, who's still trying to get his lap.
Derek Cook and Griffin doing a heck of a job trying to get that lap back, driving David Hodgson shuffled out to the inside. As here comes Willie T. Ribbs down on the inside of Randy Tolzman. Terry Cook now makes a move on the bottom of the racetrack.
We're looking at a London Amex Federated Auto Parts in-truck camera, and he actually got his lap back to the caution before this. We neglected to mention that, so he's right back in the thick of things.
That's Tolzman. Driving for Salmon and Renzi. Left side of your screen is now Amick goes by Tolzman. In the dodge of Willie T. Ribbs there, the number 8. He's being shown 5 laps down in 24th position. 3 wide, coming out of the turn. Turn to the 3,000-foot back straightaway. Now they fan out.
3 or 4 wide anyway.
4 wide. That almost got on the grass. Willie T. Ribbs has one stout Dodge pickup truck.
He sure does. They finally got everything figured out. They got the plug bars back on. They got all 4 gears working, and he's going to the front.
It's a shame he is 5 laps down. He is in 24th position, but man, what a stout ride Willie T. has. Right behind him, Rick Crawford, number 14.
But he did bring Rick Crawford to the lead. Willie T. may be 5 laps down, but he brought Rick Crawford up to the lead.
At 54, that's Brian Sockwell out of Brown Summit, North Carolina, the Maddox Supply Chevrolet. He's being shown 4 laps down in 23rd position. 5th place truck is Tolzman, started back in 20th position. But Randy Tolzman's teammate is out, David Donahue, and Amy's caught up with Amy.
We're here with David Donahue. Some vibration in the drive line ended your day. What was it like, your first truck race here at Daytona? It's pretty wild out there. I saw you had some right front fender damage as well.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, so great I couldn't even hear the end of your question, but you know, this team Renzi's put a great truck underneath me, and we could go right to the front when I was with Randy. Willie T started pushing up high out of 4 the one time, and instead of getting into the back of Randy, I had to get out of it. The front end was real light, and I brushed up against the wall. And that's why we had a little bit longer pit stop. But the Chevy Silverado was running fantastic, and I was pretty confident I could get back to the front. It was going to take a little time since I was so far back after the pit stop.
Well, you guys, he's a newcomer, and I know his teammate Randy Tolzman would sure wish that he was out there helping him right now.
Indeed, David Donahue won his class 24 hours in Le Mans, driving a Dodge Viper back in 1998. Talented young race car driver, the son, of course, the late Mark Donahue.
Got Ted Musgrave from the team Mopar Dodge looking for a way underneath Morgan Shepherd from the 21 truck. That's on board from Ted Musgrave's truck. You see him feathering the throttle. He gets such a run, he's got to feather the throttle to keep from running into that Joe Rutherford in the Dana Dodge in front of him.
Legend Ted Musgrave, only his 4th ever start in NASCAR Craftsman truck competition. There's Willie T. Ribbs right side of your screen. He's got shuffled out a little bit as you see Dennis Setzer go beneath him. And Lyndon Amick, Scott Riggs, Randy Tolzman, and company, Lance Norris is there as well.
Let's give a call to Rick Crawford here. He started 33rd, had to think provisionally starting his race, and now he's leading.
Rick Crawford out of Mobile, Alabama, the Milwaukee Electric Tool Ford. American-made industrial power tools, heavy duty for the professional and the consumer. That's a sponsorship on the front of that Ford. The Tom Mitchell-owned Ford of Rick Crawford. Here comes Musgrave back on the inside. Lefter is there. Musgrave is the 1 truck. Brian Lefter is the 3 truck. Those of you like us who are trying to get accustomed to new color schemes, new drivers, sponsor combinations.
Up high. Staying in line up high. You're all clear.
Ricky Hendrick out in the lead now. Terry Cook looking on the inside. The hotjobs.com Ford.
Couple of Fords drafted by the youngster, 20-year-old Ricky Hendrick, and then we'll shuffle Hendrick back to 3rd spot. Now Rutland looks to the inside of Hendrick. 2 Fords, and now 2 Dodges, and a Chevrolet. That's the top 5.
We had 9 Dodges in this field, 9 Fords, and 18 Chevrolets.
There have been 17 lead changes. We are just past the halfway point. We're on a possible run of breaking the series record of 31 set a year ago.
Make that 18.
Okay, make that 18 lead change. Like I said, 18 lead changes. Thank you, Bill. As they come down. And one truck slipping across. That is Hochfeld again. Had trouble back on lap number 40. Backed it off the outside wall. Caution flag has not waved as of yet as he makes the truck rolls across the grass and heads down pit road. No caution. 59 of 100 laps are complete as Joe Ruttman shows the way. Musgrave, Cook, Crawford, and Hendrick round out the top 5. Back at Daytona International Speedway, Ted Musgrave showing the way. Rick Crawford was just bump drafting a moment ago, just popping him all the way down the back straightaway. The one is Musgrave, the 14. Red, white, remote truck number 14. That is Rick Crawford. Now, a moment ago, we went to commercial break. The 50 truck was spinning. Let's show you what happened.
That's the black truck at the right-hand side of your screen. The same thing, exact same thing happened as what happened with him and Jack Sprague. But in order to not hit Scott Ricks, who's on the outside, he jerked the thing left and lost the back end.
That is 24-year-old rookie Chuck Hospital out of Ransomville, New York. Now from London Amix onboard camera. Looking to the left of your screen.
See the black truck coming up. He was almost ready to force Scott Ricks into the outside wall, and he jerks the wheel away, and around he went. But it would have been a lot worse if he'd ran into Scott Ricks. So I think he learned from that first instance with Jack Sprague.
Did a heck of a job to keep that truck from coming back up across the racetrack. He came down pit road. There was no caution flag. He's back on the racetrack. The 50 truck being shown 2 laps down now in 21st position for the Chuck Hospital fan. On board with Brian Ruffner looking over at our pole sitter, Joe Ruttman, battling for 3rd position.
He was leading when we went to commercial, wasn't he, Jerry?
It was. Musgrave went by. Rick Crawford went by. Look at that gaggle of trucks back there. About a dozen of them. Just about a foot and a half apart. Morgan Shepherd, the 21. Dennis Setzer in front of him. Tolsville behind him.
Looks like the trucks on the outside line really get a run going down through the corner, down the backstretch. But when you get to the corners, the trucks on the inside are able to make up some ground.
Now this group has reeled in the lead twosome. As here goes Ruttman as Crawford now looks to the bottom side of Ted Musgrave. Will Ruttman try to go between them? Now he falls back in line behind Musgrave.
That is a Dodge in front of him, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. It's his teammate, but that's still Ruttman.
Not his teammate, but it is a Dodge.
It's a Dodge. Right. As far as Mopar
teammate, that's it, exactly. And I think the Dodge people do work together more than some of the people that we've heard Ray Abraham talk about their philosophy in the Winston Cup Series.
It's the one-team philosophy.
Absolutely. And I think that philosophy has been in this truck series since the inception.
That's why Dodge has been so successful, I think. Musgrave holds on right now. Crawford fades a little bit as here comes Ruttman, but Musgrave is the leader. Let's check in his pitcher's break.
Well, Jerry, just over the radio a few seconds ago, Ted Musgrave called in and said, guys, this new set of tires that we just put on is really making the truck push a lot, and that's making it hard to keep that bottom line the way I'd like to. So that's kind of why he's been jockeying around there with the 14 and everything. The truck now has a pretty severe push.
I need to see him get that truck fixed, Jerry.
Oh, I would too. It's got a pretty severe push. But you know what? These trucks handle so well. And someone like Musgrave is such a veteran in handling the car like the Winston Cup car, which does not handle well.
I think that's probably why he wanted to get out front, so he can get clean air.
Ted Musgrave, not new at all. No stranger to Daytona Beach. 298 Winston Cup starts, 20 top 5.
Come on, 21's coming hard. Keep digging. Clear.
Finished second 4 times. He drove 5 years for Jack Roush. Never quite got the victory lane, but was a threat a number of times in Winston Cup. Now running the full NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series schedule. That truck number 1 for Jimmy Smith at Ultra Motorsports.
We saw Musgrave bring the leaders by Matt Craftsman, who's back out on the racetrack several laps now.
Here goes Rutland down on the bottom of the racetrack. 31-degree banking in turn 3, and Rutland will take the lead.
You know, Doc, I've had a lot of people tell me, boy, this is just like the racing of old. Well, I can tell you, I raced here in the 80s. Racing was not this good in the 80s. Maybe it was better than it was last year for the Daytona 500, but it was not as good as these trucks show these trucks were.
When I used to come here as a youngster, it was like this. And that's what I remember. I remember coming here, my dad said, we paid for the ticket, never sat down. Stood up the whole time. You stood and cheered, as many of these fans here today have. Great crowd on hand watching the second running of the Florida Dodge Dealers 250 under sunny skies here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Glad to have you with us here on the worldwide leader, ESPN exclusive home, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Less than 35 laps to go. The crews now begin to wonder and watch. What about the fuel mileage? Can Rutland hang on? We'll find out in just a moment. 2 weeks ago at the season opener, rookie Darrell Russell, driving for 5-time champion Joe Amato, became only the second top fuel driver in history to win the first of any enters. Bruce Sarver reigned over the funny cars as 10-time champion John Force was retired early. And Pro Stock's Kurt Johnson outclassed his class. The drama continues this weekend in Phoenix. The qualifying show is Saturday night with 3.5 hours of coverage on Sunday. The NHRA in Phoenix this weekend. The Checker Shucks Creighton Nationals early elimination Sunday. For more, log on to ESPN.com. That should be quite a shootout. Speaking of quite a shootout, how about NASCAR Craftsman truck racing? High-speed tailgating on the high banks at Daytona. A couple of veterans, Joe Ruttman and Ted Musgrave, both with Winston Cup experience, both running throttle to the floor, 2 feet apart here as they run 1-2. Less than 30 laps to go here at Daytona.
You know, Doc, we've talked about the new guys and the new breed and the guys taking over from the guys that left the series, going to the Winston Cup or the Busch Series. Look who's out front. Probably collectively 60 years of racing experience.
Our NASCAR race recap, Joe Ruttman the leader. There have been, he led 9 of 71 laps so far. There have been 20 lead changes. Now make that 21 as they go. Change just a moment ago. There have been 5 cautions for a total of 19 laps. Here are the leaders. Musgrave was at 22 laps. Briggs, Ruttman, Cook, Hendrick, Rick Crawford, Randy Coleman, Morgan Shepherd has led. Andy Getzman truck, Jackson Gregg. You see, Chuck Hospital has also led a lap, as well as Dennis Simpson. Out of race, Nathan Oslot, Randy McDonald, Nathan Bucky, Mark Petty. That break for Mark Petty getting caught up in this early. David Starr. Hope to see David back sitting in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Rich Woodland and Barry Bodine, son of Jeffrey Bodine.
You've got the trucks now lined up from third on back, third through about 8th. Lined up now trying to run down these 2 Dodgers. They have to stay in line, and they're doing that right now.
The third place truck, there's the third place truck, the red number 14 of Rick Crawford, the Milwaukee Electric Tools Ford. Right behind him is Scott Briggs. Terry Cook is in that bunch, as is the 17 of Ricky Hendrick. There is Rick Crawford. Rick Crawford back with Ray Stalkers, 61-year-old Ray Stalkers. That's the crew chief he had all those years in All-Pro, and they were just almost unbeatable. Ray came on board the last 3 events of last year with Rick Crawford. They finished 3rd, 6th, and 12th at Dover, Texas, and Fontana. They knew this was going to be a great year with those 2 back together. And Rick told me having Ray around like having magic.
I talked to Ray earlier. He said 27.
2 laps. 2 laps. Follow that truck right on through there.
Listening to Rick Crawford's spotter, they're going to fit 2 laps. Ray Stockers told me they could not run more than 27 laps, so that's why they're going to fit a little bit early here to make sure he has enough fuel to get to the distance. I'm sure he's hoping that he's going to have somebody pit with him because he's going to need a dancing partner.
Here's Dennis Setzer making a move inside of Joe Ruttman and his 4th position on the racetrack. Great effort for Setzer. Veteran Bill Engel, longtime Winston Cup crew chief. He's the head wrench on this team, the Axiom Chevrolet. Getting a bit of a push from behind by Ricky Hendrick. Brian Refner is there. fifth, sixth, and seventh. Setzer down on the inside. What you can't see is Ruppin is to the right of Dennis Setzer. That is for fourth position. Whoa, Ricky Hendrick down almost to the inside of Setzer.
Almost into the back of Setzer.
Outside.
5 trucks. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Ted Musgrave has opened up the largest lead that anyone's had probably in this entire race.
And here comes Rick Crawford. He's the first of the leaders to peel off to come down pit road. As you mentioned, Ray Stonkus, the crew, concerned about fuel mileage. Musgrave, the first of the leaders to make their final pit stop. In front of you, Amy.
The 14 Milwaukee Tool Ford comes down for right side tires. Let's not forget, Rick Crawford started in a provisional starting position. This will be his last stop. This was planned. They said whether it was green, yellow, or whatever, they wanted to stop him around lap 77.
Pretty good pit stop.
4,300, second gear, bud.
That's 55 miles an hour on pit road. A change up front is Scott Riggs, who was our early leader here, started on the outside front row. Young man from just outside of Durham, North Carolina, Bahama, North Carolina.
Time by, Scotty.
I said earlier that Ted Musgrave had opened the biggest lead he'd had all day. I forgot about Scott Riggs. I thought Joe Ruppin had gotten the second position and Scott Riggs in second. He was right on Ted Musgrave's bumper.
As you heard a moment ago, communications of Scott Riggs, Timmy Cahoot, the crew chief, saying next time by, buddy, next time by. 23 laps to go.
Keep coming.
Watch for the hand signals. They'll wave their right hands and the truck behind them knows they're going to slow down. Looks like Riggs and Musgrave are both going to come on the pit road. There's Randy Tolsma going by. He was being shown a lap down in 12th position. He will get back on the lead lap. The leaders
start braking. Jamming gears, man. 46 ball.
Here they come down pit road. Terry Cook, one of those 4 trucks headed down at 55 miles an hour. Final pit stop of the day at Daytona. Let's go down to Amy.
This is an entirely new pit crew. This is not the same pit crew that pitted for the #1 vote car Dodge for the Keselowskis last year. So they're hoping to have another flawless stop. They've been right on cue so far. They give them a couple of turns, a wedge in the right rear. Ray Dunlap.
4,400 in second gear, but Scott Riggs went across the line and they had to back the truck up. Ted Musgrave is in. You see the problem here is Scott got too close to the wall, and they've got a crew member pushed into the wall here. Musgrave is down and away. They're going to the right side of the #2 truck. The #2 team has made great progress on the track as they caught up, but a little bit of a miscue from the driver. 22.4.
Stay below that blend line.
A little bit of a miscue there for Scott Riggs. Remember, he did not race here a year ago. He was working as a crew member here last year. Here's Brian Refter, the 3 truck. Dennis Setzer, the 46, coming down pit road. Ricky Hendrick, the GMAC Chevrolet for Hendrick, coming down. There is Setzer, Bill Engel Company, going to work on the Axiom Chevrolet.
Jared, people don't realize how hard it is to go from running 200 miles an hour on the racetrack to come down. You slam on the brakes to get to 55 miles an hour, and you got to try to get in your pit. But you're running 55 miles an hour, and you've got to stop on a dime.
Great pit work by Ricky Hendrick's crew. Lance McGrew and company get Hendrick out. Here goes Setzer. Here goes Refter. Great pit stop for the GMAC crew of Ricky Hendrick.
Clear one lane. Clear. All clear.
And the caution wave.
Now it's on.
Caution waving for debris on the back straightaway. Roy Selby and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series officials.
Nobody coming. You're all clear.
Waving the caution flag, and that will be a break for like Randy Tolsman. A few of those who are a lap down will now be able to make their final pit stop under the caution. I'll show you again what happened to Scott Riggs a moment ago.
You saw Scott lock up the front brakes, and the truck would not stop. Then the NASCAR official, the Craftsman truck official, was on the ball there and jumped out of the way, or else that could have been really, really bad.
I mean, you got to be excited. Here's a young man leading at Daytona, has a chance to win, has never been here before. Now watch the onboard camera. Watch Riggs come into your picture. They're pushing Riggs back up into his pits. Wow.
caution flag was going to overcome the deficit that he got by having that slow pit stop.
There's a crew member who took a tumble. He looks to be okay, which is the good news down there in the Ultra Motorsports pits. We are under caution for the 6th time today here in the waning laps of the Florida Dodge Dealers 250. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Daytona. I'm Jerry Punch along with Phil Parsons, Ray Dunlap, and Amy East bringing you live coverage of the season opening Florida Dodge Dealers 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We are working caution for the 6th time today, coming out on lap 79 for debris on the racetrack. And while we were in break a moment ago, a lot of the leaders have been on and off pit road for what should be their final pit stop. And Ricky Hendrick being shown as our leader, a part of the Hendrick Super Team. Let's check in his pits with Amy.
Well, Ricky Hendrick was one of the trucks that did not stop during that caution, but the last time he did, they fixed his truck for an extremely tight condition. Father Rick Hendrick here watching told his son on the radio, man, I'll be happy when this thing's over. His teammate, though, in the number 24 Net Zero Chevrolet did make another stop for the 2nd time today. They have checked the toe, and the toe was indeed knocked out again. So they took a nice long stop, adjusted it with the right front, and he should be ready to race once again. Ray Dunlap.
Well, Amy, both the 1 and the 2 came back in here. Of course, we saw the mishap for Scott Riggs as he came in too fast, missed the pit box. And Ted Musgrave came in on lap 81, got left side tires and just a splash of fuel. So they're ready to go to the end. Scott Riggs was in here. They did not get fuel on that last pit stop because he was so close to the wall. So they came in for fuel and also got right side tires. Should be a good run here to the finish.
Indeed, it should be. Let's set the field for you. Ricky Hendrick being shown as the leader, the youngest driver in the field at 20 years of age. Brian Refner being shown in 2nd spot. 3rd is Randy Tolsma, who was a lap down in 12th a moment ago, but that caution a big help for Tolsma, the Team Renzi Chevrolet. Craig Hewitson, the chief wrench there. Joe Ruttman, our pole sitter, in 4th. 5th is the 1 of Musgrave. 6th is Lyndon Amick, who got his lap back early in the afternoon after a cut left rear tire. Then comes Crawford in 7th, Riggs in 8th, Norick in 9th, and Terry Cook rounding out the top 10 as we are set for the restart here on lap number 85. 15 laps to go, and folks, it's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series action. Anything can, it usually does happen.
63 truck Larry Gunselman had looked like he jumped in the ground. He's got over 700 horsepower with these unrestricted trucks, so they will spin the wheels.
Ricky Hendrick with the challenge on the high side from Brian Refner. They are 3 wide behind him. Ruttman is in the middle. There is Tolsma, bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Musgrave getting a push from Rick Crawford.
We've seen that picture before, haven't we, Terry?
Absolutely. Look at Musgrave. He is just pedaling for all he is worth on the bottom of the racetrack. Very strong engine in the Ultra Motorsports Mopar Performance Dodge. Now they are 2 by 2 by 2. Across the start-finish line with 14 laps to go.
Looks like a pace lap on there.
A year ago on the white flag lap, there were 6 trucks 2 feet apart, side by side. That's the finish we saw last year. It's shaping up to have more trucks as we are approaching the 10 lap to go mark here in Daytona. The inside drafting line, Phil. Musgrave is there, Crawford is there, Scott Riggs.
We've got Joe Ruttman stuck in the middle, but he's able to squeeze up in front of Randy Tolsma. We haven't talked about Coy Gibbs much. He's still in this thing. He's still in the lead lap.
First full series of NASCAR Craftsman truck action for Coy Gibbs, youngest son of Joe and Pat Gibbs in the NBNA Chevrolet. Gibbs in 20 trucks. Trying to move to the high side and by Terry Cook.
Gary Showalter's a coaching for Coy Gibbs now this year in that NBNA truck. They're doing a terrific job.
Outstanding job. 3 wide toward the back. There's Hosfeld back there. There's the 54 of Brian Sockwell.
Morgan Shepherd also still in the lead lap for the 21 truck.
Here goes Crawford on the inside of Musgrave. He gets some drafting help by him. Apparently Musgrave has a problem. His truck's slowing on the top of the racetrack. There is Ted Musgrave. The truck getting slower and slower. Let's check in his pits. Ray.
Jerry, just a few moments ago, Ted Musgrave said there was no tachometer on the car. They said, well, just push it. He said, I think that was the reason because the engine just let go.
Oh, what a tough race for Ted Musgrave, the Mopar Performance Dodge. With 13 laps to go, leading, it goes away. He will be back, though, running the entire 24-race Craftsman Truck Tour. Side by side. Impressive young driver, Coy Gibbs, hanging on with the veteran, Rick Crawford. They are battling for 5th position. It'll be 12 to go this time by.
Got Travis Quaffle in the 60 truck back in there. He's several laps down. He's 31 laps down, but he's getting some valuable drafting experience.
Valuable experience. There's Quaffle on the left side of your screen. You look over from Rick Crawford's truck. Milwaukee Electric Tool Ford. There's the MB&A Chevy for Coy Gibbs. That is 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now Crawford gets a push by Refner. There's Colesman, the 61. Colesman looks high. He was an early leader here today. Back from 20th starting spot.
These guys need to line up to catch those front 3 or 4 trucks.
$710,290. Richest race in the history. The 7-year history of NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. 3 wide, and Randy Toles was to the bottom of the racetrack. They are still 3 wide.
He's allowing the front 4 trucks to break away. You've got Joe Rutten leading, Ricky Hendrick in 2nd, Scott Riggs, and Lyndon Amy.
Toles slips back up now. He is being passed on the outside. Gibbs goes by. For you Dennis Setzer fans looking for Dennis Setzer, he has gone behind the wall with an engine problem. Tough break for Setzer, the Craftsman truck veteran, in his first outing in the Axion Chevrolet. It'll be 10 to go. Next time by, Roy Selby will hold up 2 handfuls of fingers, letting Joe Ruttman know. Ruttman, our pole sitter, he leads him down. It is Ruttman, then Ricky Hendrick. Hendrick came so close to winning an ARCA competition here last Sunday. And remember, there's a $10,000 Craftsman bonus if you win from the pole. Ruttman has won from the pole 4 times previously. 5 folks at Sears Craftsman putting up that bonus. Been won 10 times, $100 grand they've given away for someone who won from the pole. Still, how about this pack? They are finally now single file. Can they catch the lead?
I'm not sure. They've got such a good lead right now. They've got about a 3-second lead. They're actually driving away from Lyndon Amy, so it looks like the 3 trucks may. That's Ronnie Hornaday the 3rd. Looks like he has an engine problem. Caution flag is out.
That'll be the caution for the 7th time today. As the young 2nd-generation driver goes up in a plume of smoke.
Jerry, to answer your question, yes, they can catch it.
Okay, well that's easy now. Thank you. Wow, that means we're going to bunch them all up and let them go with about 5 laps to go. Folks, put the seatbelts on the sofa. We're coming back to the finish here at Daytona. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Daytona. NASCAR on ESPN, as we are the exclusive home of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. 24 events, 23 racetracks, $12 million tour, 17 different states, 4 new tracks, Nashville, Kansas City, historic Darlington Raceway. And how about going back to South Boston, Virginia, one of my favorite short tracks, one of the early homes of the NASCAR Busch Series, all exclusively on ESPN and ESPN2, the worldwide leader with all 24 events. Proud to be NASCAR's home for the Craftsman Truck Series. What a crowd on hand today, Phil Parsons, and they have not been disappointed because we are going to get one heck of a shootout these final laps here. Like a year ago, you hold your breath these final couple, 3 laps, and now we've got, what, how many, you've got 12 trucks in the lead lap. Any of those guys could win it.
Without a doubt. I think it's just about, if not every one of them, almost every one of these guys has led this race. We've had 12 different leaders, 28 lead changes.
Here's the 2-time truck champion back on pit road, Amy.
They're checking the toe again, you guys. Jack Sprague is complaining of the truck not driving right. They've got the strings out, checking it on left, right, and the front. And it seems as though they are going to have to make some adjustments. So what turned out bad looked like it was going to get good for Jack Sprague. It is now ending on a sour note.
Amy, it's not over. He's just adjusting the toe. He's still in the lead lap. He still has a shot at this thing. It's going to be a single file restart because we're inside 10 laps to go. He will restart this race in 12th position.
And for you Jack Sprague fans, remember 2 years ago, the opener was at Homestead. He finished 22nd, actually had a DNF and came home 22nd. He came back and roared back to win his second Craftsman truck title that year. So although he has not had the best of luck in the opening race of the season here last year, involved in an accident on lap 14, ended up finishing 33rd. The hood is down and Sprague is away as we await the restart here at Daytona. I'm Jerry Punch along with Phil Parsons, Amy East, Ray Dunlap. Season opening, Florida Dodge Dealers 250. First of 24 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series action as Speed Weeks 2001 winds to a close. And the Dodge Ram Pace Truck will follow the field as we check in down on the Scott Riggs pitch with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, at the top of the show, I said maybe this team has a bit of an advantage. Number one, of course, they're in a Dodge, which has been fast all week. But number two, it was the ASE number 2 team that was in victory lane here a year ago. So an awful lot of people have run down here to talk to Timmy Cahoot and say, hey, let's make a deal here. Who's going to go with who? Timmy just got on the radio and he said, hey, Andy Hillenberg is the spotter. He's on the roof. He can see what's going on out there. So if there's any deals to be made today for Scott Riggs, it's between Hillenberg and the driver. There's nothing going on down here on pit road.
And take a look at the spotters up on the roof. Are they pensive at all, Amy? Let's check in with you.
Well, down here in the 17 pit, they're talking about let's make a deal time 2, and they would like to hook up with the 2, and they thought that's what they were going to do. Now we're hearing it's like, don't trust the deal. Feel it out for yourself. If you think you can hook up with the 2, go for it. But let's not try to make any deals now. Let's just be patient. Let's be confident. Let's be there at the end.
With us today, these beautiful aerial shots above Daytona, courtesy of the Budweiser.com airship, reminding all race fans that Budweiser is NASCAR's official beer. There's the Budweiser.com airship high above Daytona, giving us those beautiful shots of these final laps here of the Florida Dodge Dealers 250.
Great shots from the airship.
Get to the flag.
Well, you got a veteran out there in Joe Rutman, 56 years of age. Joe ran his first Winston Cup race in 1963 at Riverside, California. How about that? And you got Ricky Hendrick right behind him, the youngest driver in the field, son of Rick Hendrick, who's just 20 years of age. And how about Lance Norrick? Give a call to Lance Norrick in the number 90. The Aventus Bearing Choice Chevrolet.
Place car is like 5 car lengths back.
Lance has gone 108 races without a win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Boy, wouldn't that be a popular victory among the Norrick family. Lance has a shot at it, currently being shown back in 8th position.
6 laps to go, Jerry.
Come down for the restart. Roy Selby will wave the green flag.
All clear, all clear.
Jump to the outside by Terry Cook in the 29 Ford.
Still single file among the top 7 trucks. Now they double it up.
First 6, single file.
Rutman, Hendrick, Riggs. Lyndon Amick is there. They will get to 5 to go this time by. Again, Joe Rutman, left side of your screen, the Dana Dodge. 11 career wins, 3 a year ago. Ricky Hendrick running for Rookie of the Year as they shuffle back for 5th position. That is Terry Cook, who finished 4th here a year ago. Cook, with help from fellow Ford driver Rick Crawford. Terry Cook has gone 60 races without a win. His last victory coming at Flemington back in 1998. Now they are side by side for 5th position.
This is exactly what the top 3 want to see. Look at the gap now between the top 3, 4th, 5th on back.
That is 4th spot on back. The 52 is Amick. The 29 is Cook. The 3 of Breffner. The 14 of Crawford. The 90 of Norrick. The 20 of Gibbs. They are all battling for position. The leaders, 3 trucks. As you see Breffner looking across at Terry Cook. They almost touch. Here come the leaders. 3 trucks, nose to tail.
Joe Ruttman is older than Ricky Hendrick and Scott Riggs put together.
Combined, exactly.
But they're doing a great job. They're showing a lot of wisdom for their little bit of experience.
Oldest and the youngest, Joe Ruttman, 56 years of age, young Ricky Hendrick. Last Sunday, Ricky learned a lot by leading 33 laps in the ARCA Remax Challenge Series. 3 wide, again back there for 7th, 8th, 9th position. 3 laps to go as they flash by this time. Again, there are 12 trucks on the lead lap. Here goes Lance Norris down to the inside of Brian Refner.
Looked like there was some contact between Lance Norris and Lyndon Amer. Between Brian Refner and Corey Gibbs on the inside, tucked up underneath Lance Norris.
Lance Norris, 32 years of age, out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Injured last year, a broken wrist at Memphis, trying to really begin 2001 with a great run in his Chevrolet truck, the Aventis Bearing Choice Chevrolet. Now slides the truck up in front of Refner. Norris now being shown in 4th position. They are 2.4 seconds behind these 3 trucks here of Ruttman, Hendrick, and Riggs. Here comes the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, all the way through 12th. With 2 laps to go, it'll be white flag next time by. If you have never seen the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, you owe it to yourself to become a fan. This might make you a fan, as we have trouble on the high banks. As the caution is out, but remember, these races do not finish under caution. We will have a green, white, checkered run to the finish as the caution now being waved for the 8th time today. Tough break. That's the 63 truck of Larry Gunzelman, one of the rookies out of Washington. The Waterloo Tool Storage Ford. Mike Bittler on the scene. Caution being shown in the field. We will have a restart and a 2-lap shootout to the checkered flag. Good to see what happened a moment ago to bring out the 8th caution flag.
Looked like Chuck Hosfeld in the 50 truck was sideways, and Larry Gunzelman had nowhere to go and ran into the side of him. We don't know exactly what caused Chuck to get sideways, but when he did, Larry Gunzelman had nowhere to go.
There's Larry out of the truck. There's Chuck Hosfeld's truck. Young man driving for RoushRacing.com. Driving all year long for Jack Roush.
You know, I think Ricky Hendrick pitted back about 30 laps to go. I wonder, and he stayed out to get track position, I think. I wonder if he's going to have enough fuel. We're going to have to run some extra laps here, Jerry.
That's a good point, because, you know, in this series, you do not finish under caution. In the Busch Series and in NASCAR's Winston Cup, they would have been waving the white flag and the checkered flag.
He actually pitted on lap 79, so that was only 21 laps to lap 100, so he should be okay.
Gotta wonder what's going through his father's mind. I mean, Rick Hendrick, longtime car owner in Winston Cup, 4 Winston Cup titles, 3 with Jeff Gordon, 1 with Terry Labonte. And there are the drivers. You see Larry Gunzelman, 10 years in the Winston West competition. Most improved driver in 94, most popular back in 1996, finished 3rd in the points. Well, we'll come back as the drama builds. A 2-lap shootout at Daytona. Will it be Ruttman, Hendrick, Riggs, Norris, Refner, or someone else? Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Season opening NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series event. 2nd annual Florida Dodge Dealers 250. We are working caution for the 8th time today. There's the truck of rookie Larry Gunzelman, former Winston West veteran, involved in an incident a moment ago with Chuck Hosfeld, who's been on and off pit road.
Going to restart for the 2-lap shootout next time by.
And again, the rules, they do not finish under caution. They will have a green, white, checkered. Here is Ricky Hendrick.
The guy behind you's got no experience.
With Father Rick standing by here, how can you stand it? We got to do a green, white, checkered shootout, and your truck's come out on top many times, but now this is your son behind the wheel.
Well, this is kind of different. Awful nervous, but he's run a good race. I'm ready for this thing to be over. Win, lose, or draw.
You guys, I've heard him say that on the radio more than once today.
Proud Papa Rick Hendrick, Linda Hendrick, his mom, watching, also here in attendance. She's probably somewhere in one of the motorhomes biting her nails, if I know Linda. Their son, Ricky Hendrick, what a nice young man, incredibly talented. He led overall winter testing here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Well, there's Linda, standing there watching the monitor, knowing that her son could be 2 laps away from the biggest win in his early career. He has only 6 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series starts. He finished 6th at Pikes Peak a year ago. But that guy in front of him, the veteran Joe Ruttman, is going to have a lot to say about who wins this one.
Ruttman will close up the field.
Now, will Scott Riggs and another Dodge help Ricky Hendrick? Or will he help Joe Ruttman?
Coming down for the green, white, checkered flag. Ricky Hendrick had never led a Truck Series race until today. Ruttman, an 11-time winner, 3 a year ago. Scott Riggs looking for his first win. How about Lance Norrick back in 4th spot? Lefner's back there, the winner last October in Texas. Here we go.
Just hold on, Jerry.
Green flag waves. It'll be white flag, then checkered flag.
Looking low. He's in your track. He's in your track. He's staying with you. You broke away again.
The draft so very critical. It is Dodge, Chevrolet, Dodge.
Run through your breaking away. You know what to do.
He doesn't know what to do. He's been here before, Jerry.
Ruttman, Hendrick, and Riggs. Dodge, Chevrolet, Dodge. An 11-time winner and 2 young, hungry Craftsman Truck Series drivers looking for their first victory right behind him.
Again, a 3-truck breakaway, just like we had before the caution flag.
White flag. What will they do? Will Hendrick go to the inside? When will he make his move? Will Riggs be a factor? Scott Riggs had the strong truck early on. No one-year run with Riggs. That's the truck that won a year ago. The chassis that won. The team that won.
Taking back on you. He's losing you behind you. Stay with him.
Now Riggs is faded by about 4 truck lengths. Back-to-back straightaway.
Joe Ruttman is watching his mirror every inch of the way around this racetrack.
Riggs backed up to get a run.
Looking outside.
Here is Riggs.
He's there.
To the high side of Ricky Hendrick.
That's going to help Joe Ruttman.
You listen to Ricky Hendrick's radio. Here they come. Off the turn, Riggs has a run. Hendrick has a run. And Ruttman has 3 car lengths, and Joe Ruttman will win it.
Great job by Joe Ruttman. Great job by Scott Riggs and Ricky Hendrick.
So the oldest pole sitter in NASCAR's youngest series becomes their oldest winner. At 56 years of age, he picks up his 12th career win and picks up a $10,000 bonus courtesy of Sears Craftsman for winning from the pole. And what a great job by Scott Riggs and Ricky Hendrick, 2 drivers you're going to hear a lot from throughout this year in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series competition. Upland, California's Joe Ruttman is the winner at Daytona. When we come back, we'll hear from Joe Ruttman and watch the Dana Dodge crew as they celebrate in Victory Lane. Well, back at Daytona, the season opening Florida Dodge Dealers 250 is history. And Joe Ruttman's Dana Dodge, as they are being checked there on pit road. Let's show you what happened on the last lap. Now watch Ruttman's rear window there of the cab.
He's going to wave at Ricky Hendrick. He's waving. That is really our signal that we're slowing down. So I don't know if he's just trying to play a little possum with Ricky, but obviously Ricky didn't back off. Now Scott Riggs looked like he almost backed off, but Ricky sure didn't back off, so it didn't fool him.
They tell you if you're going to slow down because you're having a problem and wave your hand and the drivers behind you will back off and won't run into you. Well, Ricky didn't back off. Our winner, Joe Ruttman, now moves toward Victory Lane. We'll come back in just a moment and talk with the winner of the Florida Dodge Dealers 250.
I don't know if I can get out.
But an additional $10,000 from Craftsman for winning from the pole. And folks, this $10,000 here goes not to the driver but to the crew. And what a crew that put together a fabulous truck for you today, Joe.
There's no question. I'm looking for Bobby. He's hiding. I think he was tutoring me all the way. Thank you, Bobby. He told me exactly what to do. And these guys here, a bunch of young guys that put together a rocket ship. Anyone could have won with it, but I'd like to thank the Dodge dealers for putting up all that money that Bobby we're going to take home with us, and crew, we're going to get some of it.
You finished third in the Daytona 500 a few years back, but now you have the trophy. You're in victory lane at Daytona. How's it feel?
Well, I wish I could have done it 30 years ago when I was younger, but it's an awesome feel because with the Dana Dodge behind me, anyone could have won with this thing. And I'd like to thank Bobby Hamilton again and Craftsman for putting up that good money for us to try to win.
Well, Ricky Hendrick gave it a good run, and he is now with Amy.
Well, naturally, the first thing everybody at home wants to know is, did you pay any attention to Joe Ruttman's little trick there in waving his hand?
No, you know, I mean, you're going to pull it all the last lap here at Daytona. He was waving me off like there was a caution. I knew better. Spotter didn't say anything. You know, we kind of set him up for coming off turn 4. I figured we could get good momentum run on him and get the win. But 2 truck behind me kind of, you know, did his own deal. Everyone for themselves that last lap going into 3. So we all 3 were there by ourselves. And luckily, I got back by the 2 truck, and the GMAC Chevrolet did great all day, and can't thank my guys enough.
Ricky didn't let him outsmart him, you guys. Good job to Ricky Hendrick.
Age and youth, first and second here at Daytona. What a finish. We'll be back to wrap it up in our season opening Dodge Dealers 250 in just a moment. ESPN coverage for NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series season opener from Daytona has been brought to you by Mopar. Parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. That's the Mopar difference. Take a look at our full field results. We show you that 12 trucks finished on the lead lap, and despite problems off and on throughout the day, Jack Sprague finishes on the lead lap in 12th position.
How about a call for Lance Nork, his best career Craftsman truck finish in 4th, and Corey Gibbs, his first top finish in his Craftsman Truck Series career.
Outstanding runs for both those drivers. Tolsma gets a top 5, 16 through 30. Derek Cope, despite having problems early on in the Impact Motorsports truck, getting shuffled out, finishes only 2 laps down in 16th spot. And the finish of the field there, these are some of the drivers that were taken out. Unfortunately, Mark Petty had a very good truck. He was taken out in an incident that was not of his doing early on. He finished in 32nd spot. Our point standings after the opening event of the season, you see that Joe Ruttman atop the standings, and there's a differential back to Ricky Hendrick running for Rookie of the Year and the championship. Scott Riggs, there's Tolsma, Norrick, Cook, Refner, Gibbs, Crawford, and Lyndon Amick, who will not run them all. He'll only run one more event actually at Nashville, as Kenny Schrader will drive that truck in 8 events this year on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Well, if you like that one, and you have to have enjoyed that one, how about joining us in 2 weeks? Coming up on Sunday, March 4th, 12 noon Eastern Time, the Florida Dodge Dealers 400 from Homestead, Miami Speedway. What a barn burner this one was. That one should be as good, if not better. What a day for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. For Ray Dunlap, Amy East, and Phil Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch. Once again, congratulating Joe Ruttman on his win in today's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series season opener, the Florida Dodge Dealers 250. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Once again, we congratulate Joe Ruttman. He's the winner of the season opener at Daytona. Remember, 2 weeks at Homestead. We'll be back with NASCAR Craftsman Trucks.